So benchmarking is tricky, but here's the thing. First is, no one ever wins a race looking sideways. So when you're looking at the people you're running with, that's not a usable thing to do. You can't win a race looking sideways. Second is, the dials have changed. This is like saying, I got out of my car and into my bicycle, and it's really weird because the speedometer must be broken because it's only going 15 miles an hour. We're not measuring all the same things as we were measuring before. So in a world where benchmarking is everything, you do have to do some laboratory work, and you do have to be willing to take the risk. Now the thing is, the same people who force and push benchmarking are watching the number go down. You're not all here going, gosh, everything's working great. Everything's status quo, we're happy. Business is just fine. So there are some risks and there are some efforts. What we try to do is we try to look for laboratory opportunities instead of just a benchmark. We try to say, can we do 3 months and see if we can move the number from here to there, and then we'll mark against ourselves. I can't speak beyond that because mostly what I do is I just try to deliver great results to the marketing organization with who I partner, and they have to explain it to their boss because they had me over for the sleepover.
It's a great question, Tim. John Cockcamp.
Hi, Chris. Thanks, and good for everybody's beards that are out there asking the question.
It's a nice beard as well.
Yeah. I thought actually the best tweet that I saw on the side that you probably can't see along the way was, listen to the strategy and forget the tactics. So I have a tactical question. And you alluded in numerous cases you've been using kind of, catchphrases that say, go Google this, go Google that. Has that been an effective tool for you as a replacement for taglines or marketing URLs or things like that?
Oh, what a great question. Thank you. I rank for some of the strangest phrases in the world. I rank for "you're doing it wrong" in Google, which will not help me make money because I'm not selling a "you're doing it wrong" product, it turns out. When I work with businesses, one of the things that we did do is we came up with phrases that weren't something that they were already trying to buy with their search marketing. I didn't really talk anything about search marketing. It is still a viable tool, and it is still an important tool. But search marketing is kind of like buying P90X, and social media is like going to the gym. You can do one, you have to do one, but you have to do the work at the gym or you still stay fat. I have proof. I have this incredible gym membership. I'm going on my 2nd year there, and I have not lost a pound in not going to the gym. But to your point, I mean, you know what, do your customers say the catchword? I mean, it's kind of the real question, because what I find is we remember all those ads from the 80s, but I can't tell you what McDonald's phrase is right now. Is it "I'm loving it" still? Da-da-da-da-da, right? That's about it. I have nothing for Burger King, nothing. And so go one step removed, go to B2B products, and maybe you sell printing crap. No one, and I love you printers, no one remembers their catchphrase. It's all on paper or whatever. It doesn't matter. So what I look for instead is something just way off base and memorable. With Citrix Online, who does GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar and GoToHell and all those products, we asked them who they were selling to. Right, there you go. We asked them what they were really selling, and they were selling to the mobile and distributed workforce, the kind of people who work at a Panera Bread, as well as the mothership. And we said, oh. And so we came up with a word called work shifting. And so we actually ranked for the word work shifting because no one's buying that keyword. So we are the organic #1 of work shifting, we always will be, where everyone else is buying words like webinar and remote desktop. Tim Ferriss did that with lifestyle design. He invented that before the 4-hour work week, but now he's the #1 ranker. Dell did it with digital nomads, etc. So I think there's ways to do it, but I don't necessarily think it's tying a tagline as much as it's finding something that resonates with your would-be buying audience and maybe doing a few of those. Thank you for the great question.
Thanks, John. One more, JD, and then we need to move on. But we're right ahead.
Thank you. And I don't have a beard.
You have nice hair.
Thank you. As a recruiter, I'm always thinking about the people implication. And I've heard a number of speakers, both here and at other events, talking about having their existing staff having to take on this role and having it part of just a natural piece of their business. What are your thoughts about that in terms of having an expertise within this or having it just be an extension of what it is that you're doing?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
I think, so to me, being a social media expert is like being a facts expert. I think this is like having a phone on your desk, so I think that anyone calling themselves a social media expert, sorry experts in the room, you're nerds. Because ultimately this is like just using another set of tools, and as a recruiter you know this because you check maybe things like their MySpace page to see what you maybe weren't getting on their resume. My friend Chris did that. He was hiring a marketing manager for a student loan business, and he found a woman who was applying for the job of marketing manager who also was in the garment business, the removal of garment business. And, found her MySpace page. And so, you know, so there, I mean, these are tools that we use, but I think to sort of get married to the tool is a dangerous thing, and I don't really like to see social media departments. Alan Scott, who's the CMO of Dow Jones Wall Street Journal, also David Merriman Scott's brother, said, I don't have a social media budget, I have a marketing budget. So I look for that. Now the problem is, of course, this is more overhead, it's more time. We've already laid off everybody, which is why you get to recruit them, and it's just more work. But when I asked about who needs 200 more emails, the other half of that is you also don't, you get lots of, if you start using the tools internally and externally, it cuts down on email, it allows for collaboration, and it more hands lighten the load. So I think as organizations, like Zappos required everybody on their team to use social media tools. I think that was a little hairy because, you know, there's always somebody in the office you don't want talking to the outside world. You know who I mean. But in general, I think it's something that should be shared. Now, the thing is, I think in HR departments, we need to go into media training for more than the C-suite. And I think PR companies and marketing companies have a great opportunity to start selling media training as a gateway drug to your other services, because all these companies need their lowest end people to be used to a world with cell phones and everybody has a page.
Thank you.